Um, I don't know what that was. I thought it was a focus group. I thought they were going to contact me. Um, so that went to shit, and I lost my viewers here and all that type of stuff. So whatever. Gonna do this again. Gonna do this again. Gonna do this again. And I am going to uh should go to the gym tonight, to be honest with you. I'll go tomorrow though. So I left this stream talking about um trying to gather my thoughts because today's been wasted. Today's been a wasted day. Not gonna lie. But oh wow, speak of the devil. So right here, Stubbs. 30% off the Stubbs. So I want to give a very cohesive and organized um, look on what I talk about in regards to um, Diamond Dynasty not being predatory and all this type of stuff. Okay. I get sick and tired of sitting up here watching YouTubers come out and say that SDS makes a very competitive friendly system in regards to other competitors with MUT, with my teams, and all that stuff. Okay? I get tired of that because it's not true. It's not true at all. It's not true in the least. It's not true. They just found a way to finagle the system, to fool people into believing that what you are paying attention to in all of this is the simple fact that it is a good system that gives you access to a lot of cards that are for free, that are for non-purchase, and you can enjoy them. But then when you turn around and you go deeper into the game and you go deeper into the rabbit hole known as the microtransactions, you start to see certain things that are laid out. Okay? A long time ago, when games used to do microtransactions, they justified doing it with cosmetics. This was a big hullabaloo a long time ago because everyone knew where this was going. Because when you give the devil an inch, he's going to take a ruler. And people are so delusional and so misled into believing that SDS is this immaculate, pure, innocent company that doesn't do anything for profit, that wouldn't have a thought of greed come across their minds or an action that would enter into their hearts. And I don't know where that narrative came from. I don't know why people think that. I don't know why people think that SDS is not capable of pulling this type of stuff off. But I'm here to tell you they are. So like I said before, SDS came out with Diamond Dynasty back in 2012. Madden NFL 2011 was the first iteration of the Madden Ultimate Team. You take a person from this era, that era, and you put them on a team and you work towards things. Now, I'm going to go back a little bit further than what people know, okay? In 2008, there was a game that came out by 2K called, no, 2007. that came out called All Pro Football. Okay? Now, I know this because I was 18 going on 19 years old at the time, and I was a part of the generation that was the anti-EA group. Okay? The EA group that snatched up the exclusive license, took out an NFL 2K5, and all of that. I was a part of the people on the 2K forums who was always anti-EA and, dogging EA and going onto their forums and doing all that stuff. I had no life and I was young back then, okay? You can get away with certain things like that. When they found out the popularity of that, they took that concept and implemented it into Madden. If you want John Elway to throw a 90-yarder to Randy Moss, there you go. If you want Dan Marino to, do his quick drop back and all that type of stuff, that's where you get it from. And it was a fun concept when it came out because it was fun and it was innocent and it was something that was new. Okay? Because other than that, it spawned from Fantasy Draft, where you could go into a game, right, like NBA 2K, NFL 2K, or Madden or whatever back in the day, and you would do a fantasy draft. You would redraft players that are already in the NFL onto your team. So you would have Ray Lewis be a Dallas Cowboy, and he would be playing with Troy Aikman, all that type of stuff. Whatever. Madden Ultimate Team came out in 2010, okay? MLB The Show came out in 2012. NBA 2K13 came out in 2012. So all three of the big heads came out within that time. Before then, most sports games did not have that type of thing that was designated to itself, so it wouldn't stand on its own. As people started to notice as the years went on, that mode right there that you guys see, and you guys know now, took over the entire forefront, the identity of the game. So it was no longer just a mode. You started to notice that all the things started dwindling. All the features started going away. Things in which were monumentous in these games that were heavily paid attention to, whether it was the details in the ballparks, classical teams, all that stuff was slowly going away. Okay? The only one that still does it, and I will say this, not biased, in my honest opinion, the only game that I see these days that are sports games that give you the biggest bang for your buck is NBA 2K. They do era-specific television graphics. They do era-specific teams. They do all that stuff. They still keep the things that they keep. I will give them that. But the emphasis started going into a more money-centric type of thing. It was starting to deviate from you being able to buy the game, okay, you being able to buy the game as it is, okay, and then you playing the game, and then you utilizing the system in the game to then make unlockables, to then get a 99 rated card, to then add all that stuff. What these people, these brainwashed cult-like acolytes do with MLB The Show, they'll reply to you and say, well, I've been playing with the same 8 good cards as I've always played with. And that's great and that's good. But the people who are the content creators are now on YouTube complaining about this system. Well, beating around the bush about it. They don't tell the truth. They don't sit up there and call them out like the way they need to call them out, hold them accountable. But they have a problem with it. And if the cards are good that are free, if the cards that are in the game that are free are good, then there's no need to complain about the cards that are behind a paywall or you would have to pay for or all that type of stuff. The reason why they do is because they know it themselves. It sucks. But it's not predatory. No, it is predatory. It is predatory. And trying to tell people that this is coming, that this way of life in this game is coming, and how this game is no different than the other ones is it's like talking to a brick wall. They're never going to listen to you. They don't listen to you. They don't care to listen to you. They don't want to listen to you. They just want to live in their own little naive world. And that's cool. That's fine. But that's not going to stop somebody from actually telling the truth and looking at the truth and telling like it is. The fact of the matter is that this game is predatory as well. If SDS wasn't the way that it was, okay, ask yourself this question. Why are stubs still in this game? Okay, who's going to use, they have $99, right? So you spend $100, for which I don't know who has this money. You spend $99, right, in the game, okay, to go get 150 some stubs. Which thing are you going to pay for with those stubs? Are you going to pay for the equipment? You going to pay the equipment with those stubs? Or are you going to buy cards with those stubs? So let's say you make $500, $600, $1,000. Say you drop $1,000 on that thing. You got money to blow. If you're a content creator on YouTube, okay, if you're a content creator on YouTube, you got money to blow. So it comes to no surprise and it comes to no issue that if I drop $1,000 on that, I have at least about at least 1 million subs or so. And I can buy all the stuff that I want to buy, and I can go into a mode and I can compete. But these people beat around the bush. They don't want to call it a pay to win. They don't want to call it predatory. But all this stuff that's happening has all the symptoms of a predatory practice. You have odds that are in this stuff that's taking place. You have odds that takes place in this stuff. Why, I have no idea. Well, I don't know why in the world you need odds in a kid's game. This is a game which kids play. This is all gambling. It's all gambling. It's a slick way to portray gambling in a game. It's a slick way to create a predatory system. Because it's no different than me going to the casino. If I go to the casino, right, and I put $2 into that slot machine, I know I have a lesser chance to win than what the person who's putting $200 in that slot machine. The more money you put into that slot machine, the better your odds are of winning more money back. That's how casinos win. That's how the scheme works. That's how it works. So if I sit up here and I look at baseball cards on here, and I open up a pack, there's odds put in the pack of how many odds you have and what is in your favor or not to get that. So, like I said, you had a 1 in 50, you got a 1 in 200, 1 in 500. That means you got a 1 in 50 chances to get that card, to get that stuff. This is a kid's game. The only people who understand those types of things are adults. Those are gambling tactics. And it's predatory. Because you know you're going to keep going back because you know you're going to score that card. And if they put it in a card system and they put it in a pack and you're going to pay for it, you're going to do it. It's predatory. But then people say, oh, it's not like Madden. Madden is way worse. Madden is this, Madden is that. The fact that you have this model, this template in your game already tells everybody you're no different than Madden. You're no different than 2K. You just have a slick way of coming across not being as crooked as Madden and EA is. But Madden and EA are way more honest with their schemes than what the SDS is. I ask the question again. If it's not as crooked as you guys say it is, then why in the world do they put stubs in the game? You don't need stubs when it comes to equipment and your player and Road to the Show like it used to be. Those stubs used to help boost up players' ratings and stuff so that they can go and become a 99 overnight. Once those things were erased and they made sure to take it away from the system because most of your YouTubers were milking and exploiting that system, they then pointed towards the stubs and the cards and stuff. So when you look at a system like that and you see how greedy that is, okay, see how greedy of a system that is, you then take a look at what is being prioritized over what needs to be done in the game, such as focusing on the quality of the modes, focusing on the quality of stadium creator, the quality of franchise, and all those types of things, which has been lacking tremendously. It has lacked tremendously. The value of it has gone down. This is why you have a game where it's May 14th, May 15th, the mode is going to be broken, and they're spending a lot of time to work on this stuff. When this should not have been broken. You have the mode that should be fixed. It was fine in MLB The Show 24, but they got to tinker with it because Stadium Creator is built solely for people in Diamond Dynasty. All they care about is Diamond Dynasty. But they're not greedy. These people are clueless. These people are clueless. This is what you deal with. This is what your content creators can easily sit up there and just call them out and just say what it is. Say what it is. It is a crooked system. That's what it is. And Sony SDS pressure these people into making this stuff to be this way. And so that's why you sit up here now with the mode being the way that it is and it just, falling apart at the seams when, they spent most of their time in pre-production creating Diamond Casino and rolling dice and all this type of stuff. It's all gambling stuff. It's gambling. It's to get kids hooked on to gambling. It's predatory. They know what they're doing. These kids get hooked onto this stuff. So then when the kids get hooked onto it, and then they get the ability to have access to money, they're going to be the ones paying for this stuff. And they make it difficult to where you don't have the time to sit down every single day to come home and belt this game out and hustle. So what they do is they make the obstacles way more difficult to deter you, run you away from it. So you can say, man, screw this crap. I'm just going to look, how much does this cost? $200, $300? I got extra money to spoil. And some people will go out there and do it. The reason why people don't think it's not predatory is because they fail to see the plausible deniability. The plausible deniability of the situation is if you put the system out there like the stubs, you get 20% off of stubs. Why are they pressing stubs so much? Don't you know you pay for stubs? You pay for stubs with real money. But they're different from EA and Madden. People are fools. Your content creators, they know why. They know why they're not speaking out on it. They want to get flown out from SDS. These people are like the dude that I was talking about. I called them out before. I called them out this whole video. No, you didn't. You spent most of your time on the stream trying to figure out ways to say they're greedy without actually coming out calling them greedy. It's cowardness. It's cowardness. That's why we are where we are. These people don't care about being honest. They don't care about, the truth or standing on merit or standing on integrity. They care about making money. They care about subscribers. So that, the people who subscribe to them can be their mouthpiece and spout the same stupid stuff that their creators say, and they just go on with their lives. But at the end of the day, you guys are the ones who make the videos complaining about Madden not being a part of this thing and how I'm not saying they're Madden, but they're doing Madden's type of stuff. Okay, cool. You're contributing to the problem. You're the issue. Like, how you don't see that, I don't know. But that's not my problem. I don't know. I go to sleep with a good conscience. I don't have to sit up here and do what you guys do. It's kind of stupid. But, that's the quick gist of what I wanted to get down to. It's like, in order to understand why your modes are neglected or half-baked the way they are, is because these companies are forcing these developers to put their interest into these card games because they're trying to make money. They're trying to turn a game that is a sports title that's only good for one season into a live model. once the model's done, once this year's version is done, no one goes back and plays these versions. It's actually like, I hate to say it, but like looking at it in a business sense, I think companies would honestly lose money if they would take the model set of just having the game be put downloaded onto, and every year just uploading new features and stuff to be put on one model, and you don't have to spend the money on packaging and players and new pictures and stuff like that, because ultimately that's what you're doing anyway. All this is just a glorified roster update. And there's just money in lying to people. There's money in deception. They're just as predatory as the rest of them. It's just that they go about it in different techniques and ways. Make your money, bro. Like, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm not gonna stand by and not call it out when I see it. So, that's that. Well, update: the Orioles just lost yet again, 8-6. Yep, 8-6. So, to people who like being positive, Mr. Positivity, all that type of stuff, let me explain something to you guys about positivity. Positivity works when realism and the opportunity to meet positivity will do so. Positivity does not work when the circumstance shows you the truth. Because positivity, all right, I'm going to just say this. This is a life learned lesson. Positivity, okay, to the point of ad nausea, when it is to be used to deter away from reality, is called, all right, and hold on to this, it is called delusion. All right? It is called delusion. All right? You know, when you get that girl's phone number, okay, and that girl is interested in you, you can be positive that she would most likely call you back. It can be, because there's an opportunity for it to turn out in your favor. Okay? When you're realistic, that doesn't mean you're negative. That just means that you see what's in front of you. Okay? You see what's in front of you. And you are now making the assessment to realize if I should move forward or I should just go on. Okay? Here is the realistic truth about the Baltimore Orioles. I don't care what YouTuber you sit up here and listen to, all right, that wants to be about positivity and all this type of stuff. You need to crap on them all the time, all day, every day, because they deserve to. And I'm going to tell you something straight up, how it is. It is May, okay? This is where baseball teams make their money. School is going to be out, okay, in about a couple of weeks, all right? That's just the facts. And when the summertime hits, summertime allows a lot of opportunities to come for you to go to the ballpark and pay a visit. I don't know anybody, and I really do mean this, I don't know one person, one soul in their right mind would sit up here and say, you know what, I got about 2 kids, I got about a wife, okay, husband, whatever. Go down to the ballpark, okay, pay about, 17 to 20 bucks to park in some nasty urine-soaked smelling garage or underneath the bridge to go see a game where a bunch of underachievers who are 22 to 27 years old are playing way below their value and are making way more money than what I am. Okay? This is going to go down as historically one of the worst seasons in Baltimore Orioles history. And people will sit up there and say, well, what about the 1988 Orioles? What about the 1954 Orioles? What about those things? See, here's the difference in this. This team was expected to contend for a World Series. They just gotten off winning 161 games about 2 years ago. Okay? All right? And then they regressed the year after, winning only 91 games. Okay? All right? So the problem here in all of this is that this team was expected to do good, because Mike Elias was supposed to be a great GM. Mike Elias was supposed to lead the Orioles to the promised land. But I can't sit up here, ladies and gents, and tell a lie much like people sit up here and allow lies to be told about MLB The Show and all this type of stuff. I got to tell the truth. I got to keep it a buck, keep it 100. Mike Elias is a fraud. Okay? He's a fraud. If it weren't for the front office in the Astros organization to light a fire under his butt, to go get Verlander, to go get Garrett Cole, to go get Max Scherzer, to go get a lot of viable senior, mature free agents to make a push, he would have never done it. They would still be in a rebuild mode. This guy has been here in this town for over 7 years. Okay? He got hired in '08, so about 7.5, 6.5 years. Okay? For a 5.5-year rebuild that he's still in. This guy does not know how to run a team. Okay? That is not in a rebuild mode. So instead of him admitting that he doesn't, he instead sabotages the team. He sabotages everything. He gets players and hypes them up that are not good. Adley Rutschman is trash. These players are trash. Okay? All right, Jackson Holiday, overrated. All of them, overrated. Go to another baseball team and see how their 21-year-old players are playing. And then when it comes to us, it's always wait and be patient and all this type of stuff. It's overrated and they're trash. That's it. And when you have a GM who is in over his head, he is reaping what he sows right now because he is too arrogant and he is too full of himself to sit up there and make the decision that needs to be made that I need help. I need someone to come in and do what needs to be done. This season is over. They are 15-26 or 14-26 right now. They just lost the series to the Minnesota Twins in one fell swoop. It doesn't matter what they do tomorrow. They've lost the series. They've lost more series than they won anything. They went out and got this bum called Tyler O'Neill, who is a vagabond. He's a mercenary. He doesn't care about this team. He doesn't care about winning. He doesn't care about the Oriole way. He doesn't do anything. I advise Oriole fans, or anybody, if you're listening to me right now, to go and watch a book, okay, or play a book off of Audible called From 33rd to Camden Yards, okay? And I want you to either read that book. I prefer you to listen to it on Audible because Audible's a lot faster. You don't have to sit up there and go through the whole, crucible. But I will say this, okay, in regards to all of this. This is what I'll say, okay? Understand that book right there tells you everything you need to know about when the Orioles are going to win, why they're going to win, when they're going to lose, and why they're going to lose. And in the 71-year history of the Baltimore Orioles, the modern day the history of the Orioles, the modern day Orioles, okay, from 54 to now, all right? When you have a GM that has no clue what he's doing, the team is going to lose. When you have a clueless owner, the team is going to lose. When you have an owner who's self-destructive, the team is going to lose. The only time the Orioles ever won, okay, the World Series, and from 1966 to 1983, they had 16 years worth of vaunted, staunch defense, great pitching, sound hitting, and all those things. When they had that, the Orioles won, and they won a lot, okay? And they had GMs to make sure that it would work like that, and they had all those things put in place to make sure that would happen. You don't have that with Mike Elias. So don't expect them to win. They're not going to. This right here is a cause and effect. This man, Mike Elias, needs to lose his job today. In fact, he should have lost his job yesterday. This man has no clue how to run a championship caliber team. That's why this is happening. And so what the Baltimore media is going to do is what they always do. They're going to lie, they're going to finagle, they're going to BS and gaslight you and tell you that the reason why all this is occurring and happening is very simple. because, well, they have injuries. No, they knew that they had these problems before they had injuries and decided to do nothing with them. This is a terrible team. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Do not go watch this team play. Don't go. Don't buy tickets. Don't get season tickets. Don't watch them play. Sit up there. Go with your family to the beach. If you're a hockey fan, the Caps, they're down 3-1. They'll put out a better effort than this trash ever will that you're going to watch hit the field out here in Camden Yards. And yes, I call them trash. They're trash. These players don't care about this town. They don't care about this city. They don't care about anybody. Okay? If they did, they would play. They don't. Your organization, your front office here, they don't care about the fans. They don't care about winning. All they care about is a pet project to make their ego look good so that they can stroke it. That's it. Mike Elias does not care about winning. He knew what he was doing when he set this all up for it to go terrible the way it did this season. Because he's smart and he always has all the answers and he always knows best, better than anybody else. But this is what his best thinking has gotten him. It's gotten him almost out of playoff contention before you reach June. He's a fraud. And me personally, I care so much about fans. Like I said, I care about fans. I care about people in this game. I don't like seeing customers get screwed over by people. I don't like seeing them waste their money and get screwed over like that. I'd rather you save your money in this economy. This economy is terrible. Okay? Save your money. Go and put that money in a banking account. Save that money so that your kids can go to college someday, have a good education. Do not spend this money on this team. No more. Until they fire Mike Elias and they get rid of Brandon Hyde. Do not do it no more to yourself. Don't. If you do, that's fine. That's your prerogative. That's your right. But just understand something. You are a willful participant in your own suffering. Do not expect them to get better because they're not going to get better. This is a trash team. Okay? I will always love the Orioles, but I'll be damned if I'm going to sit up here, all right, and speak nice about these players. These players suck. And they don't care about Baltimore, and they don't care about showing up because they keep doing the same exact stuff. And these hitting coaches are terrible. Your organization, your front office don't care about you. They don't. Mr. Magoo, this new owner, he's clueless because if he had any sense or any inkling above himself, he would have fired these people a long time ago. And he won't do it. So there you go. Okay? Respect yourselves. Don't buy these tickets no more. Don't. Please don't. Don't go to the games. It's going to get hot. It's going to be muggy. You're going to be sweating. You're going to be fighting for cheap plastic giveaways and toys and all that type of crap. I'm here to tell you, this stuff ain't worth it. Don't go to the games. And you'll sit back and you'll see the fools who will go to these games, okay, and spend hard-earned money to sit up here and watch their team lose. Those people are fools. Do not be a fool. That's my public service announcement.